Welcome, Gemini. I'm Art Kozak. This is Art Kozak Tarot, and this is your reading for March 9th through the 15th, 2020. So, Gemini, what do I see coming up for you in the coming week? I think near the beginning of the coming week, there's going to be a sense of boredom. I hate reporting this kind of thing, but Monday might be a very stereotypical Monday for you. There is something going on in your life where you are facing the potential of a commitment. Okay, commitment is what's on your mind. And this could be a romantic situation. I think for a lot of you, though, it's a little bit more pervasive than that. I think this has to do with committing to, wow, this is, okay, so this is the Lovers clarified by Justice and the Star. These are all major arcana. These are all big major forces in your life. And so I think that what's happening is you're not just thinking about in the coming week committing or either undertaking a commitment or making a huge decision about commitment. It's not just a matter of a romantic situation or one particular professional situation. It's more of a pervasive thing having to do with you, your life path, and your own, really your soul. Again, as I say at the beginning of the week, you're going to be facing boredom. You're going to be facing that which you are that you're just not interested in accepting anymore. It's very burdensome. I see in the beginning of the week, there's some burdens that you are kind of just bored with undertaking. This might have to do with other people. This might have to do with burdens that other people are putting upon you or that you're accepting on behalf of other people. This is what I'm seeing here is a very opportune time to put that to an end. To just say, okay, you know what, I'm not doing this anymore, frankly. That's probably the clearest interpretation I can give you of these particular cards. Hey, I'm just not doing this stuff anymore. That you might find yourself in that situation at the beginning of the week. And again, you're committing to a life path. You're committing to something very pervasive and very fundamental to you. And this may be something that has overt manifestations. This might involve a marriage. This might involve a relationship or a new job. But I think what it really has to do with is you, just as a person. Who are you going to be? Who are you committed to becoming and being for the rest of your life, or at least for the rest of the foreseeable future? The beginning of the circumstance in the beginning of the week, why it may or may not seem significant to you in light of this kind of overall life path kind of decision that you're making, but it is significant, and this happens very often. And one thing I hope to do with this channel eventually is to start recommending readings from other readers as well as my own to kind of cross-reference with. And there's some readers that I look at, and very often the things that they predict don't seem like the most important things on my mind. You know, the things that they tell me are coming up, I'd be able to identify in my coming week, but they weren't exactly the things that I was hoping and wishing for at the time. Well, those very often are the significant things, the things that we're not looking for, and what we need to hear from your predictive reading, things that we're not looking at. So the situation that you're facing where it's time to just say, hey, not doing that, that is going to kind of open things. That's going to open your eyes a little bit, okay? You're going to find yourself later on in the week where you feel like the scales have been removed from your eyes. You're seeing things more clearly. That information may be coming your way that you did not know was there for you. And this has to do with balancing things out. This is going to help you obtain mental clarity so that you can make that decision, so that you can find balance. Because this need for commitment, this need for strength to make a strong commitment that you're feeling, it may in fact be that what you really need is to make a strong commitment toward balance. Okay, it's not necessarily about letting things go, cleaning out your closets, changing your wardrobe, changing your diet, your lifestyle. It's not necessarily about making some huge change in your life. What's going to take you forward in the way that you need to go forward. It's really about integrating the new perspective that you have, integrating that into who you already are. And I think by the end of the week, you're going to reach some clarity about that. You're going to find some information is going to come your way to help you find balance and to help you make the decisions you need to make, and to give you a great deal of mental clarity when it comes to this situation. Now, what about the ultimate outcome here? The outcome I see, and this is kind of the conclusion that you're going to be reaching by the end of the week. That which, again, takes you forward into the next week, takes you forward into the next phase of your life. Well, you're going to be in a situation where you are in control of your emotions. You're going to be in control of your anxiety. I think that it's potential, and there's some potential, and I'm seeing this with relation to your past as well, the past events that have taken place. There may have been an ending that caused a great deal of anxiety for you and kind of set you out on this kind of raw emotional journey where you're going, that you needed to find some emotional renewal. You needed to kind of to reinvent yourself. Okay, you started feeling this need to reinvent yourself because something had already gone away and it died. You were able to kind of party a little bit. You were able to find some enjoyment, and very often, as is the case, taking some time out and enjoying yourself leads to a great deal of clarity. It leads to your ability, giving you the ability to take stock. Okay, removing the illusions, letting your inhibitions go for a little bit removes your illusions, and lets you take stock, lets you know where the boundaries are, that there are some hard boundaries in your life, maybe some hard fights that need to be fought that you may or may not be interested in fighting. I do see that you are a little bit, I think your attitude is a little bit contentious right now. But this really just has to do with the need to win. Again, with the need to renew yourself and the need to move on, not just from events of the past, but kind of who you've been in the past. So, to sum up again, getting to the ultimate conclusion, early in the week, you're going to face a situation where you're done with that, not doing that anymore. Hey, and you may find yourself saying to another person, hey, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing this for you, or I'm not doing this thing that I have had to do for so long. You're going to reach a point of mental clarity. You're going to get some information that is very helpful to you in making decisions and balancing things out. And you are going to be left in a situation where you are in control of your emotions again. You are in control of your anxiety. The anxiety, and this is symbolized by the Nine of Swords. If you haven't heard me say this already, the Nine of Swords, I try to remind people very often that the Nine of Swords represents a situation where anxiety itself has become the problem, not the thing that you're anxious about. And so you're going to realize that. You're going to come to a strong realization of that going forward into the next week, into the next phase of your life. And you're going to be ready for action. You're going to be ready to get things done. You may feel like you're on your own in this. You may feel like that others are not necessarily willing to get on board with you. At best, you may find some situations in which others are not necessarily opposing you, but they're not necessarily encouraging you either. But you're ready for action. You're good. You know, you're on top of things emotionally for yourself. You've reached this point of self-reinvention, and whatever the challenges might be, you're ready to just go ahead and take them on. So I hope something that I've had to say is helpful for you in the coming week. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. There's also a link to our Patreon page in the description box below if you're interested in that. Once again, I'm Art Kozak, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the future.